KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. I said happy Friday before. I don't know. Can I say happy Monday? Seems like a contradiction in terms. If you're happy for Friday, then you can't really be happy for Monday, can you? Well, nonetheless, we're just going to press forward. Happy Monday. And I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I had a great weekend. Spent some time with my mother, my wife, went out to brunch, met up with my sister and her husband. So just relaxing day, taught some hop keto classes, did nothing on Sunday except laundry and cleaning. I'm completely domesticated. Sunday was just for cleaning up the house.
Nice.
And I was listening out to hear if I could hear the Hard Summer Tour right next to SoFi Stadium. I don't know if I heard it. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know because there were two parties going on in my housing development. There was a graduation party, which is weird because graduation I thought was like in June, but they said it was a graduation party. Maybe it was a college send-off party or something like that. Maybe
it could be like a trade school graduation.
Maybe, I don't know.
There's a lot of those that just happened recently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was a graduation party, as they called it, and there was some other party going on, and they both had DJs, so the music was competing. I don't know if I heard that party, if I heard the Hard Summer Music Festival party in Inglewood. We'll get into that at the bottom of the hour. But it was a full weekend, but it was a good weekend. I didn't get caught up in any of the foolishness of the Hard Summer Music Festival when someone even got shot at an after party. So, that was my weekend. What was yours like, Tuwala?
Lots of sleep.
Isn't that the best, though?
It is. I don't think I did really anything, man. Sleep, just chilling.
Stephen, what about yourself?
I went out. I was actually in Irvine Saturday, so that's why I was like, why didn't I hear the music? But I was out because it was a 3-day weekend thing.
I thought it was just Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, so maybe I just didn't catch it. But Sunday, I didn't. I went to bed pretty early, kind of like Tuwala. I was trying to catch up on some sleep.
You're getting old like the rest of us.
Yeah.
There comes a time in every man's life, can't speak for women, but every man gets to the point where, like, I can either go out or I can get a full night's sleep. And the full night's sleep begins to be the better option. If I haven't left the house by 9 o'clock, I'm not going anywhere. If I have to already be out at 9 o'clock, I'm not going to leave because there are too many reasons not to go out after 9 o'clock. I mean, leaving the house? Oh, no. I can't do it like I used to. But we have some great stories we have to cover today, and it's almost like someone was looking out for me. When I saw this story about the large great white shark spotted in Santa Monica waters, I said, yeah. You shouldn't have been in the water anyhow because there was feces everywhere. And now on top of feces, got a great white shark out there. I don't mean to be cold and callous, but if your ass dies because of that great white shark that everyone knows is out there, that's on you. That is your fault. You know it's there and you go out in the water. Shame on you. Shame on you.
You will be on dying time. I can promise you.
Oh, absolutely.
Shame on you.
Thank you, Hillary, for that. And we'll tell you about the Hard Summer Music Festival at the bottom of the hour. And we have great news for California. We're number one. We're number one in unemployment. We're number one for unemployment again in the country. How about that? We're going to go beyond the box score with Jackie Ray. And get this. Did you hear that someone or someone's they've been throwing sex toys on the court in the form of very long rubber Johnsons? Phallics, yes. On the court during the game multiple times. Talk about stepping on your... Never mind.
Yeah.
Come on, Stephen. Don't be so stingy early in the show. Mark, I'm starting to agree with you. He doesn't even look for the rim shot. He doesn't know where it is. He always has to look for it like, oh my gosh, I don't know what folder it's in.
It takes me a minute.
What folder did I leave it in?
I think he thinks they cost him money every time, so he's kind of stingy with them.
Oh my goodness. And that joke was on the fly. I thought of it in the moment.
It was good.
Evidently not. I had to cajole you to get a rim shot.
Because it took me a second to get to the button, but I got there.
We have a hormone-free male contraceptive pill, which has passed its first safety test. Look, it can pass all the safety tests. Men are not going to use it.
I don't know.
Men are not.
I don't know.
We are so lazy. No.
Look, we are lazy. That's why it would be easier to just swallow a couple of these than roll. We can swallow a couple of these.
Thank you very much.
Come on.
Better that than all the time. You know, dudes
Better than spitting it out.
Well,
Boosh, no.
I was gonna say then rolling it on.
Mm.
You
Okay.
see? Take two of these or spend time. Hold on.
Yes, you have to rip it. You have to rip the wrapper.
Take the fabric, then you got to hold on.
Yeah.
Then you go.
You gotta do the shimmy to roll it down.
Come on. No one wants to do all that. Hold on. Let me take a couple of these. Yeah. Take two of these.
I would.
You're good in the morning.
I guess we'd have to see if it's efficacy. You know.
Yeah.
Are we talking like 85%, 92%?
Oh, we can't be having that low.
Well, look. I'm not going to talk about anyone's life, but I heard the female contraceptive pill was not more than like 98% effective.
All I'm saying is if this one
Allegedly.
allows us to grow a little extra hair, I'm all the way with it.
It's later with Mo Kelly. When we come back, we're going to tell you about that great white shark spotted in Santa Monica waters next. Now, let's go to Mark Ronner. I didn't get to say hello to you, Mark, officially.
Hello, Mo. I missed you this weekend.
I missed you too. Oh, you complete me.
Thank God the family's all back together.
That's right. All right, now you can leave. Family can't stay too long.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable, wasn't it?
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. And we often talk about why I don't necessarily go in the water. That's just me. I'm not a big water person. I was when I was younger. I would go to the beach and boogie boarding, but that was when I was an adolescent, but not as an adult, and definitely not at this point in my life. And I say, like, I look at it differently because I know what's in the water. You know, we got stingrays, you got sharks, you got poop and other feces. It's not probably a place where most people would want to be if you knew everything that was in the water. We told you last week about all the beaches which had exceeded recommended safe bacteria levels. We said, hey, stay out of the water this weekend. Well, there's also another reason to stay out of the water. You've probably seen the news by now of a roughly 15-foot great white shark, meaning it's an adult. 15 foot. And it was captured on video. They had a drone looking for things just like this over the Santa Monica waters right near the pier. It was seen about 150 feet, 50 yards away from shore. 150 feet is not far at all. You're still in the shallow water portion of that beach area. And if you didn't know, juvenile great white sharks are relatively common in shallow waters. Why? Because it's a good place for them to feed. But this is not even a juvenile. At 15 feet, they're saying this is a full-grown adult hanging out in shallow water. And the only reasonable assumption it would be doing that is it wants the warmer waters, as we're told, and it's also there to feed. So the great white shark thinks that there's a food source relatively close by. Could be fish, could be anything swimming in the area. But after you've been told that there is a great white right off Santa Monica Pier, if you then get in the water, I don't know what to tell you. Now, here are the stats. There have been 15 shark-related deaths in California waters since 1950. That's not a lot, but who wants to be one of the 15 or the 16th or the next one? I'm not going to test fate. And, I'm quite sure if Joe Kwan were here or Matt Money Smith were here, they'd say, they're still going to go surfing. Not me. No, sir, not me. And this is just what we know at the moment. What I mean by that is this is a drone. They saw footage of it, but it doesn't mean that it's the only shark out there. I would have to assume that the great white is not completely by itself.
I want you to think about something, Mo. You've seen my car.
Yes, I have.
Mark, you've seen my car, right?
It's a tank.
It's a tank. It's pretty big. Foosh, you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This great white is literally bigger than my car. My car is 14 feet long, and the width of my car is about just 7 feet across.
Stop bragging about your size.
That car's got some girth.
I'm just okay. But this great white is 15
Why you got to bring
feet
race into it now?
because it's great. 15 feet and
great.
8 feet across.
So it is literally
Yes.
comparable to your car.
Put a fin and some dorsals on my car, and it's a great white.
Some dorsals.
That's a big ass shark.
It's a big ass shark.
And
dude.
if you encounter the shark, there is no outswimming it.
Nope.
You're not going to fight a great white. You're not.
It can swallow you whole.
Yeah, I mean,
no. You're supposed to punch him in the nose.
punch him in the nose, poke him in the eye, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck with that. Good luck.
All stuff that could lead you to just getting your arm ripped off.
That's right. You know,
Do you know how fast they are? I know you see it's just cruising in the water. They're very fast.
and they're
Very
temperamental. I mean, punching it in the nose, I don't know if it's going to send it away. I don't know if you try to stab it in the eye that it won't get madder and then be more intent on eating you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if it's already clamped down on your midsection and it's pulling you out in the ocean, yeah, might as well just take a stab at his eye. What do you got to lose? You're going to die anyway. You're either going to bleed out or he's going to drown you.
Now you gotta hope when it gets you, you're in a position where you can get to its eye.
Oh, I know.
The eyes are pretty far away from its mouth.
No, and honestly, if it's grabbing you around your legs or something, I don't know. Yeah, it could be dragging you this way.
How are you getting to it?
Yeah, those are all great ideas, but I don't know about reality.
Right.
In theory, yes, you would probably want to try to poke its eyes out. One of the places where it's probably vulnerable, but you got to get past the teeth.
Got to get past the teeth.
And I don't know how exactly going to get that done. Or you could do like I do and just stay out of the water.
You could and avoid the rows of teeth. It's not just teeth.
It's like 3
teeth.
rows.
It's just 3 rows.
Yeah, and they grow back.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like a great white up close? Not like in the water close, but just in general, the size of the mouth, how it can easily ingest you.
I know we always talk. T, have you ever been to water? I just thought about it. I was always afraid of the water, leading to my never wanting to go on a cruise ever, because I can't think of a time when I've ever been cool getting in the water. I've never liked the ocean. Never. This is one of the reasons. Not that there's a great white just cruise in Santa Monica. No, duh, there is. There is. Jesus.
Mark, when was the last time you were in the ocean?
I can't even tell you when. It's been that long. I wouldn't go in.
Stefan, when was the last time you were in the ocean?
I'd probably say like maybe 5-6 years ago.
You fool.
Where were you swimming? What was the circumstances?
Like, I was just with friends in Manhattan Beach.
Okay, locally. See, I've been ocean, freshwater, lakes, all that kind of stuff. But that was 40 years ago.
Wait, Carnisha, you're new out here. And I
I've
know
never been in the ocean, and you would never see me deep in the ocean like that. I'm
Okay, I was
staying
making
right,
sure.
right where the water come in over your feet in the sand. That's where I'm standing.
That's where the stingrays are. That's where the stingrays are.
I could deal with a stingray before I deal with a shark.
Isn't a stingray what killed Steve Irwin?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It was.
Okay,
Mhm.
I take that back.
He caught a stingray right
In the
in
chest.
his heart.
Yeah, you don't want
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
That was instant death too. He had a cardiac arrest right when the thing stung him in the heart,
Look,
chest.
people want to say like it's no big deal. No, it is a big deal. And I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. But if it happens to you after you've been warned, then I might laugh at you and make fun of you. And yes, you will end up in dying time. And we'll just have to just have to. I mean, the water's dirty and it's dangerous. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you still want to go out there and risk getting eaten or stepping on a stingray or ingesting poop, then okay. I mean, it's on you. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. We're going to talk about that hard summer music fest in Inglewood over the weekend and whether it was as loud as it was last year, where you had some 8 different cities and police departments complaining about the noise. Was it as bad this year? We'll tell you next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly here. Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. And I don't live in Inglewood. I live in L.A. one street over from Inglewood. So you just know in proximity, I'm 3.7 miles from SoFi Stadium. So anything that happens in Inglewood, I know about, I see, I hear all of that. And what I hear from most people in Inglewood in general, the traffic is horrible. And it's been that way since they dropped SoFi Stadium there, because SoFi Stadium is on Century Boulevard. Century Boulevard is not physically large enough to handle all the traffic. You have Century Boulevard, and parallel to that, you have Manchester Avenue, also a relatively small street. When you're talking about a number of sports and entertainment venues, you have SoFi Stadium, you have the Intuit Dome, which just opened for the Clippers. You have the Kia Forum, which the Lakers used to play with. It was the Great Western Forum, and you have the YouTube Theater, and they're all on the same street within 1 mile of each other. So you could imagine the traffic is just horrible. The noise in that area is horrible, having nothing to do with the Hard Summer Festival. So I just say that so you know, when residents complain, it's not just about this, it's about all of that. And you have to keep that in its proper perspective. But Inglewood residents are upset about this Hard Summer Festival, Hard Summer Music Festival we talked about, which was blowing everyone's ears out last year. But this year they had even more people. But there was a question of whether the noise was going to be unbearable once again, because they had tens of thousands of people, talk about traffic, flocking to Hollywood Park next to SoFi Stadium for this festival, which is just steps away from the Kia Forum, which I was just telling you about. And Lady Gaga was the closing act, and also the closing out her Los Angeles leg of the Mayhem Ball Tour. There was a wide variety of musical choices, different types of styles. So you had a very, very mixed crowd in that regard, depending on your music preferences. As far as the noise in music, I could faintly, I think, hear some of the banging and bumping. It wasn't as clear as last year. Last year, I could tell you what the song was. Now, it just seemed like there was a party really, really off in the distance, and it wasn't as intrusive as the year before. And I also told you it was a Saturday and Sunday festival. I didn't hear anything on Saturday. I think I heard more on Sunday. And Sunday, I told you there were also some competing parties in my housing development. So that made it unclear as far as how much I was hearing of the festival, or was I hearing of just parties around me. But Inglewood, they've been a victim of their own success. If you think about bringing the Rams to Inglewood, the Rams didn't come to LA, they came to Inglewood. If you talk about the Chargers, and now KFI is the voice of the Chargers, bringing the Chargers to Inglewood, not LA, that area, economically has been very, very successful for the city. And I make the distinction, successful for the city as opposed to the residents. The residents, the only real benefit for them has been the appreciation if you're a homeowner. If you already owned your home, it's worth more now than 5 years ago. But if you were renting, there are a lot of neighborhoods where people were just forced out because the renters, the landlords were able to double people's rent, if not more, overnight. Or if you were on, let's say, a month-to-month lease or a year lease, whenever your lease expired, they would say you can stay, but you're probably going to pay 2 to 3 times more. And I'm not exaggerating. Before SoFi Stadium, I'm just saying arbitrarily, you could find a 2-bedroom in Inglewood around $1,200-$1,300. Around $1,200-$1,300 now you'd be hard pressed to find anything a 2-bedroom under $3,500. No way. And if you lived in Inglewood at the time, you weren't going to continue to live in Inglewood because it was relative to the community in which you were living financially, economically. You could pay the $1,200. You probably couldn't pay $3,500. If you could, you wouldn't be living in Inglewood back then because it didn't have any of the stadiums. It didn't have the performance theaters. And by that extension, I mean also the jobs which came with it. Inglewood was a more like a city you drove through. It was not a destination city, with the exception of the Forum. That was about it. And even then, after the Lakers left, it was just a church. So it really didn't have a reason for people to go to Inglewood unless you were going to see friends. That's about it. I mean, that was the only time I was going to Inglewood. Housing was relatively moderately priced in the early 2000s. That no longer is the case. You want to get like a 3 to 4 bedroom house or townhouse, that's over $1 million. Inglewood.
Don't forget the businesses. The impact
Right.
on all the independent
businesses also
businesses
moved out.
that also had to go because they couldn't afford the rent anymore.
And I say all of that to say, when we talk about the complaints of the Hard Summer Music Festival, you have to put it within the context of that. They're not just complaining about the music festival. They're complaining about the insane parking. And this is now going to be the worst part of the year for Inglewood residents because SoFi Stadium will have a game every single week. It will be either the Rams or the Chargers. And then you get into September, October, which is the beginning of the preseason for NBA basketball. Then you have the Clippers in town, most likely. And then the concert season, you will always have something going on at the Kia Forum or the YouTube Theater. So the complaints are not just about the summer festival. It's the latest thing which is a problem as far as people who live in Inglewood day to day. It's been great for the price of real estate if you own, but outside of that, it's been a nightmare. I just know on certain days, I don't go through Inglewood, if only because I can't drive through it. I know that I cannot get through Century Boulevard or Manchester Avenue on a Sunday. So I just try to stay south of Inglewood.
You know, a couple of weekends ago, I was actually in Inglewood and I went to an event that was right next to Iconics. And when I drove over there, I drove past the stadium and I drove into that complex where
and
the
you
Iconics is.
SoFi's here,
Yeah,
Hollywood Park.
It's all there. It's all right there. And like when I left out, I was like, because I hadn't been in Inglewood in so long, it was really disorienting all the buildings. So when I was driving down, essentially I passed by the Forum. I'm like, damn it, this is where I am. I had no idea where I was.
Prairie.
Yeah, straight down
Manchester Prairie.
I straight went right past the Forum and was like, I'll be damned. This is where I was this whole time. Wow.
It does not look like what it once looked like. You know, you go by Hollywood Park, and that's the Hollywood Park retail district. Racetrack obviously isn't there anymore, and you have all these other businesses. You have Cosm and so forth, and Iconics, the gym. Yes, it's good for urban renewal, but it hasn't been good if you happen to be some of the people who could not benefit from that urban renewal.
Interestingly enough, I did not see the urban renewal spreading that far into.
Oh, no. It's just those two streets.
It's just those two streets.
It's just Century. It's just Manchester from here to here.
Yeah. I looked over. I was like, so when is this going to get built up? Because this still looks like, get mugged and get shot. I don't know.
They have a hotel that they're going to be building. And I think some movie theaters as well, but it's still connected to basically the stadiums in that particular area. But then it pushes people further out. And as far as trying to, if you want to buy property, it's going to take a pretty penny there now.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So just know these complaints aren't all about Hard Summer Music Festival. It's just about, hey, there are a lot of things going on in Inglewood, which is making it difficult to live here on a day-to-day basis. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. Be sure to join the Mo Migos and be part of the Motown chat. Be part of the show as well. I'll be reading some of your comments in the next segment. And now when we come back, then we got to tell you about more bad news in California. We're number one. Unemployment.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly here. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and also live on YouTube, the video simulcast, so you can join us on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly, MrMokelly. The friends of the show, we call them the Momigos. They have the Motown chat where they get to interact with me and Carnisha, who runs the chat, and also interject on some of the subjects. And I guess right now they're talking about Home Depot and hammers. I don't know how they got there, but also they made mention of that new War of the Worlds movie on Amazon Prime starring Ice Cube. No bueno. Oh, it was bad. It is so bad. I was mad that I spent the free time that I had with it.
What was it?
War of the Worlds.
Oh,
on Prime.
Oh, the
Video.
trailer looked absolutely awful.
No, the movie itself is much worse. It seemed like they had limited budget, like $4, and Ice Cube was paid $3 of them. Now, the idea was not bad. The execution, very quickly, he's like an NSA analyst, and he's high up. He has a lot of power when it comes to national security. And then he is the centerpiece for this, War of the Worlds invasion. It is based on H.G. Wells, so there was some things that you would recognize. And it was just implausible. It's all about social media, and the whole movie is done through his monitor.
Yeah, that looks so tedious.
All of his phone calls, his Skype calls, his text messages, and everything is kind of like shaky phone cam footage as he's talking to other people.
Was it advertised anywhere? Because I didn't even know about it until the Momigos started talking about it.
Hopefully they didn't advertise and spend any money on it.
Oh, boy.
I don't think Spielberg and Cruise have much to worry about.
No, not at all. It was even worse than that TV show War of the Worlds they had about 3-4 years ago. It was on Epix.
Oh, I never saw that. But if you haven't seen the original War of the Worlds with Gene Barry, it holds up really well.
It does.
It's super entertaining.
And it's probably the best of the lot, all things considered, for eras and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So join us then amongst the Momigos and weigh in on the chat. We'll talk about some of the things that you're talking about. But very quickly, before we end this hour, I have to tell you about this. There's bad news, and then there is the perspective and context of the bad news. Here's the bad news. California's 5.4% unemployment rate for June 2025 is the worst in the country, and it tied Nevada for the number one jobless rate among the 50 states. Michigan was the third highest at 5.3%, followed by Kentucky, New Jersey, Ohio, and Oregon at 4.9%. So we are the worst, but not by a lot. And you wonder, well, who's the best? Here's the question now. Who can find a job in South Dakota? Their unemployment rate is 1.8%. Not as many people, not as many jobs, not really any desire to go to South Dakota. Then there's North Dakota at 2.5%, and then Vermont at 2.6%. And if you're wondering, Texas was number 18 at 4%, and Florida was number 26 at 3.7%. Here is, though, the larger context. You may think like, oh, my gosh, 5.4% is so horrible. It's not good, but look at it this way. June 2025 was the 19th time that California ranked first in unemployment, as in the highest, dating back to January of 1976. We have routinely, regardless of who was in power, who was governor, who ran the state senate, or who ran the state assembly, we have consistently been near the top when it comes to unemployment. June 2025 was the 19th time since 1976 that California was ranked number one. But I still wouldn't leave. And part of that is because, my industry's kind of here. If I were not in radio, I'm not moving to North Dakota or South Dakota.
Oh, they'd love you in South Dakota.
Oh, I'm sure they would not. And I'm not going to meet them in South Dakota.
Also, there's less than 1 million people in that whole state. It's weird to compare them to us with 40 million.
That's the context part of the discussion. Yes, if your unemployment is 1.8%, but you only have, 800,000 people or whatever, what does that mean, big picture? It doesn't mean a lot. 40 million It's not only is there no comparison, it's not even the same universe.
Yeah, put 1 or 2 people to work hosing down a cow or something, and your employment, the percentage shoots up.
KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.